Sherry Clark, Tim Ganettis, Jeff Gibbons, Larry Jones, and myself, Ed Wisnowski. And Samantha Malone is on Zoom. Remember, Samantha Malone is on Zoom. We do have a quorum of 7 in person, which is required under the New York State law that provides for both in-person and remote participation. Individuals may undertake remote participation by activating the Zoom links found on the published agenda and at the town clerk's meeting portal. Viewer-only observation is found by activating the live link at the top of the town clerk's meeting portal page. The online participation is being moderated by CTV, and tonight that is in the person of Peter. For comment on a particular agenda item, please notify CTV via the raise hand function with respect to an agenda item so that comment can be made. Commentators online and in person will need to provide name, agency, if relevant, and place of residence or business. As part of our usual practice, we usually advance the agenda items that are of interest to the people who are here to participate. So with that in mind, if there's no objection, we will alter the agenda for that purpose. But the first item before us would be the approval of the minutes of July 16th? 15th, 2025. They have been circulated and to all board members. There were no amendments suggested. So in the absence of any changes, I move their adoption. Is there a second? Seconded by Jeff. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. The minutes are approved. And by Samantha as well. So the first item for consideration would be under Certificate of Appropriateness discussions, 2426 Montauk Highway. The application that was presented included the proposal to redo the stucco exterior of the building and also to alter the color from the existing building that exists, which is a slight yellowish color to not a pure white, but an off-white color as well. The building currently houses a food emporium. Let me get this looked up here. And as well, the Pilates establishment as well, right in the center of Bridgehampton. The sits next to a parking lot, so there is much of an exterior view on the east-facing facade of the building, and that's to be seen by the public. This is again from the rear of the parking lot, the east facing view. That is the color being proposed. It's not out of character with, in my view, the colors of the other buildings along Main Street, which generally have white facades on that side, on the north side of the street in that area of the block for, I think, 4 or 5 of the buildings that are there.
May I interrupt for 1 second? That color isn't very representative. It's actually much whiter than that in reality. It's hard to translate, with pictures, but it is much whiter. That looks more.
That looks great, but I understand some of the color toning issues that
it's
are
much
there.
Whiter than that. Yeah.
Right.
That's why we presented the actual that.
Right. Myself, my recommendation would be to approve it, that it is totally consistent with the character of the buildings in the immediate neighborhood there, and that the color change is completely compatible as well. I have a question that's not associated with the issue of appearance. My recollection of this building is that it's a cinder block construction originally, and that the front facade was red brick back in the 1950s, 54, 55, which is when I remember that building from. And the stucco was then, I believed, put over the brick facing for that. Now, the building next door, I'm sure you're probably aware of it, had a collapse of some masonry facade
I remember that.
about 2 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
Or 3 years ago, yeah.
3 or 4, yeah, something like that.
Right, yeah. And I'm sure that, the separation of the masonry features was not known. And of course, it's been reconstructed and repaired completely. Is there any deterioration that you notice in or that is known with respect to the facade of your building?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because when I purchased the building, which was in 1995, and they opened up, I purchased it in the fall of 95, we did the work over the winter, and we literally took it down to the 3 sides. So the facade was completely redone, and it is masonry, which is why we haven't really had to touch it much till now, but it needs some TLC now. It's time. And in that time, the only thing we really had to do was a new roof, new HVACs. So no, our facade is completely separate from what happened next door, which is a good question. But yeah, you're right. So no, it's yeah.
Yeah, well, the other buildings next door, they were built 1930 or so.
I'm sure.
And yours is 1950 or 51.
At least, because it was the old printing.
Yes, Hampton Press and Harold M. Halleck Real Estate Office.
That's who I purchased it from.
Yeah,
yes. And redid it, and I've owned it since 95. So 30 years later, again, it's time for some TLC.
Okay. Right. Well, from an appearance point of view,
then it'll look, more attractive. It's starting to show its age a little bit.
Yeah. So, board members, is there any comments with respect to this at all? The recommendation is for approval of the application as submitted. So, do we have a motion to that effect? Moved by Stephanie, seconded by Jeff. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And aye by Samantha as well. Okay.
I thank you all. I think you'll be very happy when it's all done, and it's been a long time since I've been here, since I originally did this project, and thank you again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, 23 Corwith Avenue. This is a proposed remodeling. Of a 1914 house. It's used by the Dia Museum on Corwith Avenue next door. And the work letter, which was part of the application that you all received, is to change the siding, the roofing, the decks in kind, replacing and restoring existing window frames and replacing windows to be sized and operate to match the existing size, I believe, and also on the argument that it would meet energy code standards. And the original letter says they are not, would not have the divided lights, real divided lights that currently are in place. The interior renovations are not germane to us, so that's not something that we have to deal with here. In looking at the application, and scale down the side. This is the rear of the house away from Corwith Avenue, not really publicly visible, except maybe from a neighboring property. This is the, again, the rear of the house, and you can see on the, just to, because the picture's there, you can see on the upper levels, patterned glazing in the upper story of the house. Let me see if I can go to, this is another picture of the house. This is the front of the house on Corwith Avenue. And again, you can see the windows are quite decorative in character. The front porch is to be replaced and, and proposed, and excuse me, the columns were not to be rounded like they are existing. In this photograph, I'm not sure that they might have been the original columns, but in any case, square ones were to be proposed on the plans.
Can I make a correction?
Yeah, in a moment, okay. Just, this is the entrance door to the house as well. These are all pictures from the application. This is the side of the house where it has a bay window component, as well as, again, the upper story character of those windows. So if you want to make a comment, well, you can come up to the table here and where the microphones are to,
Hi there.
Push the button.
I think they're on.
It seems
If
like
they're
it's
green,
on.
yeah.
Can you hear me? Hi. I'm Viola Rouhani. I'm the architect, and I just wanted to. I think there was some misunderstanding about the porch. We always intended to keep those columns and replace them in kind. The square columns was for support underneath because the porch is sagging a little bit, so it would be behind the lattice. Yes, exactly. Right, exactly. Yes. Um, so basically, the original intent was because the windows leak and some of the paints are broken, that the owner wanted to replace them with more energy efficient windows, which I understand from the guidelines is not really looked favorably upon. And so since then, we've had further discussions with the owners, and they're willing to keep the existing windows and refurbish them best they can. Yeah.
So,
Now, that's the upper sash on those, on the first level and the second level, have those multiple lights.
I'm sorry, make sure your mic's on.
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah, that same decorative motif is carried out on the first level and the second level?
You know, I think on the first level, there must have been some go around where either they had already been replaced. They're certainly not there.
Okay.
And our intent was always to keep the decorative lights on either side of the front door. So we would now be keeping the windows as they are. The only thing that they ask is they be able to switch out the basement windows, which I don't believe are historical. Those are very leaky and rusty.
Yeah.
looks like it's broken out down
Yes.
here on one
Exactly.
side.
Yeah.
Do both of those side lights exist on the front entrance?
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
I saw
There's
one.
a kind of a storm door that is covering one of the
Oh, okay.
side lights in the picture.
Yeah, and they do have apparently storm windows on the inside that they use in the wintertime. Right. So
It's
there's-
behind that door.
It's behind that door.
The house was built in 1914, and the fellow who built it worked at the end of Corwith Avenue in the lumber yard next to the railroad tracks, very close to his place of work. He was an operating engineer for all the milling equipment that was steam powered at the lumber mill at that point in time. And his, I don't know whether his son or his brother was a glazier, and worked at the East Hampton yard of the East Hampton lumber yard. This, in Bridgehampton, it was the Bridgehampton yard of the East Hampton Lumber Yard Company. So, but I suspect that was the source of some of the decorative glazing that was installed by knowing somebody who could do that readily, and associated it as kin with the individual who had the house built. And the family owned it right up to about, I think, the point in time when Dia bought it in the 1979, 80, someplace in there. Same family over 3 generations had the house. So, and someplace I found the builder of the house as well, the name, and I'll try to recollect it someplace along the way. But
That would be great to know.
yeah. So the question is, and the concerns that I raised with you was preservation of the windows, and the appearance of the porch is not going to change. It's the underlying structural support for the porch that's there. And the siding the re-siding is going to be in cedar
Yeah,
shingle?
it would match in kind, and the intent is not to reside the whole building because apparently it was recently resided. It's just to kind of patch and repair as needed. Same
Yeah.
with the roof.
It looked in pretty good shape when
Yeah,
I.
it might just take a cleaning of the roof and replacement of some shingles.
I think there was also a question about how the railings and spindles on the porch are going to look when it's renovated. It was not clear.
Those would match in kind.
They're gonna match in kind, okay.
Now, the back porch already does not match anything.
Yeah, it's, back deck is not particular, it was added on, and you're
Right.
basically expanding its footprint, as I recall.
A
but-
little bit, yes.
Yeah, but myself, it's out of sight for the most part, and won't be seen by most pedestrians walking along Corwith Avenue. And my judgment is, would not be a problem. So, do we have any questions from the board with respect to this? So, what I would propose is that we approve it with the application with the modifications that the historic windows will be preserved and second story. Okay, so that the other windows, basement and first floor are not, they don't have any historic characteristics in terms of, looking at them, so. And the porch appearance will be maintained with the substructure changes, okay. And what was the other issue? It was the siding will be
Patched and
in
repaired.
kind.
Yes.
Yeah, the siding and roofing.
So, okay. So with those stated modifications, okay,
It
Susan?
might be also on the front, the third floor. I mean, I'm just saying the second, third floor, and also it looks like on the
Yes, there
south
is on the
side, the
dormer.
window well.
On the dormers,
Yeah.
those, I should mention that, included, okay.
They remind me somewhat of that Ball carriage, the Ball Estate caretaker's house that we saw. They're really gorgeous, gorgeous windows.
They're very beautiful windows. Do you see many buildings with this exact same patterning?
I've seen the pattern before, but not often.
Yeah, same here.
I've seen it before.
It'll be an odd thing, like I saw one up in North Sea somewhere, going to look at a project and turned down a road, and it was this very modest cottage.
Microphone.
Very modest cottage that somebody had gotten hold of old windows and installed them in this cottage, and cottage was probably from the 50s, but the windows were probably, 60, 70 years old.
That's kind
Even
of odd
more than
too.
that, like 100.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and voila, from the Brooklyn Daily Times, the new residence of John Shida is rapidly nearing completion and will soon be ready for occupancy. The house was built by William H. Conklin.
Huh.
So
A Conklin.
I'll send that along with
Okay.
the other information. But if there should be a motion to approve.
We'll make a motion to approve.
Moved by Jeff,
Second.
seconded by Larry. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and Samantha approves as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Okay. Next is 20 405 Montauk Highway, Bridgehampton, for the matter that was postponed at our last meeting. The and you might have some input here too, I don't know, but anyway. The matter was postponed because the work was done without a building permit and certificate of appropriateness being issued for it, and that it was referred to the building department for a notice of violation of the town code. We face a number of procedural complexities, so to speak, with this. Number one, we do have the applicant's representative here to speak with us tonight. This was originally uploaded June 9th, 2025, and I guess by virtue of assumed procedure, it was not put on our June agenda because it was less than 10 days before. Then when it was put on our July agenda, that was already 6 weeks of the term of the application. So we're here tonight in kind of the 10th week, the 70th day of the application. And there's a requirement in the town code that either we approve, disapprove, or approve with modifications within 90 days. So that would not, if we didn't solve something tonight or decide tonight, we would have to think about what goes on in September or beyond. So that's just kind of a procedural complexity. I believe we can agree with the applicant to extend the time limits that might be involved. So if that would be okay with the board and okay with the applicant, that can be one way of solving that window of time associated with the town code issues. So, there's that. The second thing is, as of our meeting, we indicated that we would not make a decision until we had a resolution of the question of notice of violation. And that's hanging out there. The notice of violation was issued. Some of us know about it, but others probably don't. From on the board here, about 3 or 4 days after our meeting. And the notice of violation said the way to resolve the notice of violation is to get a certificate of appropriateness from the Landmarks Board. So, what was shot in one direction was shot back in our direction with respect to the way in which the building department inspector treated this. So we are also in that kind of condition where the applicant is presented with something of a conundrum as to how to resolve this. The elements of this, are procedural on the one hand, a lot of procedural technicalities and hang-ups. On the other hand, it's the question of substance of the changes that took place and their impact on the appearance of the historic district. So that is something I think, even though we might not reach a decision tonight, an official decision, that's something we might evaluate without having to reach that kind of stage of taking action on the application. And I think that allows you to get a chance to provide your position and explanation and questions that might be involved there. If you want to, this is Elva Guerra. Last name is Guerra.
Guerra.
Okay, Guerra.
How are you, everybody?
From Southampton
Real estate.
Realty.
Yes. So yeah, I had numerous visits to the town. So first for me, I thought I had to apply for at the building department. The building department sent me to Landmarks, and Landmarks sent me to Mr. Wilcox to file the certificate of appropriateness. At the same time, I filed for a certificate of appropriateness for Landmarks, and the building will not accept the application until the 3 applications are here for the awnings, until I have a certificate of appropriateness. So, it's been numerous visits and me trying to get as much information as possible to get it all in order. The awnings did go up and the windows did go up. As you can understand, we are a business and new to Bridgehampton. So my boss was here in July, and we still had black awnings that said Compass on them. Faintly, but still said Compass on them. So we could not have that. The awnings do comply with the town. The lettering is 6 inches. They're flame resistant. The only thing that we changed, not even the framing, is just the color and the lettering. For the windows, I do understand that I only have, when I asked the town, they told me that I could only cover 25% of the windows. Nothing about the messages. So of course we went with what's on the windows. And like I said, it's a lot of back and forth. So I wish I had more information as what I could put there. But the sign company did provide me with how much we've covered of each panel of each window, and nothing exceeds 25%. And that's where we are at the moment. I do apologize for putting everything before we had the permits, but had I not done it, I don't think this would be done even after Labor Day. So, like I said, we are a new business, and my boss was here. So that was tough for me.
So the business of the awning, I think the awning color is okay. It matches generally the darker awning to be found on some of the other buildings along Main Street, and is not kind of objectionable business. I tried to put this in context, and one thing that we notice here is that there's a lot of graphic and marketing slogans that are present
Right.
on the windows, and
Some of them are repetitive, for sure.
Right, and this is the Montauk Highway side, the public side. This is the west side,
Yes.
which has a sidewalk to an off-street parking lot where pedestrians move from the parking lot onto Montauk Highway and passing the windows. And so here you have windows again with marketing slogans and branding icons. This is the next window down on the west side as well with that. Now, to put this in context, I went around to the other real estate offices on Main Street, Nest Seekers International, two buildings down, the second building down east of your establishment, doesn't have the kind of attention-grabbing graphics that
Right.
Sirhan has.
And we discussed Compass as well
Next to
before
Nest
us.
Seekers is William
Ravis.
Ravis, and kind of a boutique, very small real estate office at 2415, as you can see the address there, very close. Across the street from you is the Compass Real Estate Agency. This happens to be the building that I mentioned that where the masonry facade had peeled off 3 years ago. And that little yellow piece here is actually the earlier building we were talking about. But you see that there's limited kind of graphic and brand promotion, advertising on that. Next, a little bit down from Compass is Brown Harris Stevens. Again, show windows with the real estate for sale or rental, and with an awning basically giving their store name. And Brown Harris Stevens happens to have a lot of windows, all
Yeah,
of the
they're
same
big.
kind. They're very big in that. That building happens to be the old Presbyterian mansion in Bridgehampton that was remodeled and converted for commercial use. That building was 1842, I think. So if you go down to the other end, Douglas Elliman Real Estate, again, their office, again, fairly simple presentation of their realty offerings. This is the whole facade. They're located next to the Starbucks on the east side, on the east end of the commercial district of Bridgehampton. This is Sotheby's, which is not far away on the other side of Montauk Highway. And we actually had the application and approved their awnings and color that you see here now. Here's another boutique agency, real estate agency called The Agency on Main Street, very close. This is the Saunders Building.
Oh, yeah.
You know it's close to the church on the west portion and set back without the kind of in-your-face presentations that exist. This is Corcoran, which is no longer, this is in Southampton, in the historic district in Southampton. And again, simple, relatively simple and custom presentation of realty offerings without the graphics. This might be familiar.
That's
Downtown Broadway, 327 Broadway, corner of Broome Street. This is headquarters, I guess, for the company.
As you can tell, they have the
And
same
this
design
is
on the
the Broome Street side. And as you can see, you can't see the banners so well, but not only do you have all the windows filled up with material, but you have banners floating over the sidewalks as well. So, my sense is that there's really two problems here. One is the attention-getting aspect of the branding of Sirhan versus the sales of the rental and realty property that you have pictures of in the windows, which is basically the way in which the other real estate offices operate. So my own sense is I would not be myself in favor of having those window displays with the slogans there, that they not be there, and that some of the graphics, polka dot art graphics, especially on the front of the building, not be there. The west side, which has the glass doorway in the center and the two window areas there, if they had nothing on them, I think it would be a little too much of a hole, a glass hole, so to speak. And having something, a soft graphic presence there without the kind of slogans and brand advocacy that's there, that would be, to me, reasonable. But
Yeah, so I had discussed with Marjorie Riley the last time I came regarding the windows. Like I said, I come, even when I got the violation, I came to talk about what was wrong and how I could fix it. She said the windows were not a problem as long, she asked me to get, when I came, she asked me to get from the sign company the coverage of the windows. She said to me that I could apply for a variance if it got denied. And that's a route that we're looking for. Although all the other real estates have their own thing going on, we are different. I understand we cannot have Netflix on the windows because we're not Netflix, and I can have that removed. Some of the messages are repetitive, so I would love to remove some of the messages that are repetitive. The polka dots, I know that you guys don't want them, but it's part of our branding. It's part of like the company, and it's all over. We are in 12 states. In all 12 states, the polka dots are there. Do they have a meaning? I don't know, but Ryan Zergen likes the polka dots, so we're keeping the polka dots. Now, like I said, some of the messages are repetitive. So I think that I would agree to remove some of the repetitive messaging for sure.
Well, to me, all the slogans should not be there.
Right, but that, like I said, it wasn't, when I came to ask about the application, the only thing that I was told was 25% coverage.
Yeah.
Didn't talk about.
Well, you have to understand that there's a difference between the Landmarks Board
Right, I understand.
and the building department sign codes that are there. That's a separate issue to be resolved, and we don't have any impact or influence on that. We're about appearance, we're about compatibility, about the setting of the changes that take place. So,
And like
I
brought up
understand that you got one kind of statement
message,
from
right.
the building inspector that was involved with that, but we are not part of that.
Right.
So I just try to make that clear to everyone. So
I understand that you want a standard look for all the real estate agencies. We discussed other windows as well and their messaging and how big the coverage was. I know we're not here to talk about them, but there are other windows that are huge and have no messaging in the village. And you said to me that the code changed in 2023, I believe.
The
Because
historic
Compass had the
districts,
lines everywhere.
the historic districts was established December 2023.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So if it's previous, I completely understand that.
So, well, I don't think there may be questions that some of my colleagues have here or concerns that can be expressed. So,
I just have a general question, and I am in the process of familiarizing myself with the town code windows awnings, because it's actually a newer thing that we're covering. But from what I gathered, it's the basic premise said, keep it simple, the less, the better, muted tones, tone it down, earth tones preferred. I'm just generally, and wasn't even, and it mentioned the historic, character of the town, but that wasn't even referencing an historic district. That was those were the suggestions. Keep it simple, 6-inch letters, less the better, just the information that has to be there, period. You know, and I guess that's what I agree with that. That people, a lot of people participated to write that into code that is just preferable. It's
Right.
less the better.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion here is that the appearance of the windows should be consistent with the other historic buildings in the district and not significantly change the character, the appearance of this building. And in looking at the other real estate windows, and being familiar with some of the other windows, generally in businesses in the historic district, I'm not seeing anywhere near the level of advertising material and logos and dots, if you will, that are shown on these windows. When I first looked at these windows, I thought I was looking at pages in a magazine that was advertising, the real estate agency. To me, they don't read like windows in historic district. They read like advertising. And you already have the name on the building in a number of spots. So the name is there. And it seems to me that it would be more effective to put your product in the window so that
It is.
people could see the product, and not the advertising on the windows themselves. So I too find that all of the lettering and the logos and whatever on the windows not to be consistent with the character of the historic district. The awnings, there are a number of other awnings, some of them similar in character to what's already been installed here, so I don't have a particular problem with those. But the lettering on the windows, I think, is not consistent.
Sure. So if we were to remove the lettering, would the dots stay?
I think, as I mentioned, the logos, which I consider the logos or the dots to be part of your logo, part of your branding, is again, to me, advertising. And I think that is not appropriate. The other things I see on the other windows are, the phone number of the business, that sort of thing, small, off to the side, or inconspicuous. That sort of thing is, to me, would be appropriate. But yeah, the logos, the dots, the advertising slogans, not appropriate.
Okay.
So any,
I agree with Stephanie and with Ed. I hate those dots, and they seem like
Not mine.
they seem from a different era, and
Yeah,
they
the
don't.
future.
And when I look at them, I don't think of real estate. I think of like ball playing courts, tennis courts, or things like that. Like I don't see what they have to do with real estate. It's like I don't get the connection.
Neither do I.
And I guess it's somebody
Part
in
of the
it.
branding, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like, it's not doing anything for me. So, I just think that it's just too much stuff. Everybody else is very reserved and quiet, and this is the historic district.
Right.
I mean, you want to be out on Montauk Highway somewhere else?
Oh, we were there. I wanted out of there.
Oh, okay. It's nice to be in the village, yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think there's just way too much, and I'm not in favor of the dots.
I think the branding is a tough issue. I mean, no matter what the branding, if it's a bunch of balls or bubbles or whatever, if it's a company branding, it makes, and then you end up in a historic district, it becomes kind of a tough question. But I tend to think of all these decorations on these windows as temporary in a way. I mean, another
Right.
5 or 6, 10 years from now, or sooner than that can all change in a heartbeat.
I agree.
And, so I don't know. I mean, I think the idea of that having more glass that you can see through, I appreciate the idea of obviously advertising real estate property for sale and stuff in the windows. Everyone does that.
Yeah, those are in the windows, just the side windows that are on the west side. There's no way to get in there because the landlord has shut down, like welded the doors together. So there is no way for us to get in there.
Yeah.
So whatever they did to put the logos there was on the outside, not through the inside.
On the inside. Okay.
So there are about 5 or 6 establishments in that building. I
Yeah,
guess. Yes.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's something Marjorie also told me. All the signs on the side have to be removed, and I said that wasn't me.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I told him that they needed to be removed, and he took an issue with that. And I said, well, you need to go to the town.
So, well, probably some of them predate the historic
He
district.
did say that.
Yes.
He did say that.
Yeah. So, I mean, they may be removable for other reasons, but not for historic district regulation if they're pre-existing. So,
Yeah, he said he's had them there forever.
well, to move this process along, I propose as our understanding tonight that, we'll proceed as we wanted to proceed at the last meeting, awaiting the determination of the building department's violation notice and that process before we in any way act to try to resolve the content here, but at least you get a sense of
Yeah,
some
so
of the-
when I did go to the town, they told me that the violation is for not having a certificate of appropriateness.
They said what about the?
The violation is for not having a certificate of appropriateness.
That's interesting. Anyway,
So it's like,
yeah. So, and we sympathize with that dynamic, but in any case, is it our understanding we will not proceed until we find some further resolution of the violation on this? Is that?
so what is the violation right now? Because the violation is for not having a certificate of appropriateness.
Well, it's having done work without a certificate of appropriateness.
So I did not receive that violation. The only one I have is the one for the certificate.
The notice of violation is for not having a certificate of appropriateness, yes. And the question is that has to be resolved, adjudicated some way, then the process of getting a certificate of appropriateness can move forward.
What's the way of adjudicating it? Because the town will not give me a resolution until I get the certificate.
Well, I think there's a question of what the next step is. My sense is that there may be a notice, legal notice from the town that they are going to
Send us.
issue a summons, and then it goes to the legal department to figure out how they're going to process
So
it.
we'll wait for that process.
Yeah, and that's beyond our influence at this point in time. So, but you have a sense of where the thinking is with respect to the content of the appearance issues that are associated with this, and that can be further discussed, and I'm sure it can be worked out someplace along the way. So the ultimate kinds of penalties that can apply here is that in theory an order can be given for the work to be undone, which would not be a suitable resolution.
I'll just wait for the town.
Yeah.
Should I ask our landlord if he received anything?
Should you?
Ask our landlord if he received anything. Because we have not.
He has not received anything. That
Like, oh,
Do you have any?
I've made it a point to come to the town as often as I can to check that everything is okay, because I want to make it right. But I have not received anything from the town, or in my last visits heard that anything else is besides the violation for the certificate of appropriateness.
Yeah.
That's all there would be at this point.
Okay.
So with that understanding, what we need to do is in order not to have this window close on us because of the 90-day period in the code, is the board willing to consider an extension of the application, and is the applicant willing to extend the application consideration? Because, I mean, ultimately, if we didn't do that, we'd probably be forced to deny
Right.
the application. Then you have to pay to make another one.
Start over. Yes.
Yeah, so, and that, just gets more convoluted as it goes down the road.
Absolutely.
So
like I
you're.
said, I want to make it right. So I definitely want to work with you to make sure it is right.
Okay. So we will continue, then you're agreed to continue
100%.
with this process so that it's extended going forward, and that'll allow everybody to have some maneuvering room in terms of time events that might be involved. My sense is that the town court goes on vacation at the wrong time. And
Once they get a summons, the time clocks will stop.
all time clocks stop? Is that part? Okay. Well, then the continuation would be until the resolution of what goes through the town court.
All right.
Okay.
Leave that open.
All right. So is that understanding of everybody?
Should I come and check, just because I have not received anything else, should I come more often and check if there's anything? Or is my landlord getting anything and I'm not getting that from my landlord?
Yeah. The question is, the summons gets issued, and then I guess there are appearance instructions and dates associated with this.
I don't know whether the landlord gets the summons also, or whether it's just the
Okay.
tenant. But if they get it, then they'll have to appear in court with you.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is keep coming here and check.
Well,
Because
if,
I don't-
if you don't get a summons, they're probably not going to either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you just need to look to see if you get the summons.
And if we don't get anything, what happens? We just extend this process?
Well, then in the past, we have not always been informed by the town attorney's office about what they're doing. And in fact, this has happened, that we get surprised by events that way. So if you get nothing within the next 3 weeks or so, I think you should notify us for the September meeting
Okay.
then, which
And
is
the meetings usually happen.
September 16th.
16.
So.
Thank you.
So, and that way, either we will get some information from the town attorney's office, or we'll get it from you as to what events have taken place.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll make sure to keep that in mind.
So I think for that matter, we have a plan of going forward at least, so that, and the procedure and procedural ambiguities are kind of cleared up a little bit there. So with that, I think we'll await for any report
I'll
from
keep you
you
posted, yes.
if anything happens.
Sounds good.
And
I have all your emails.
okay. And,
I check often.
and also just to, also be aware that I don't know if our, if Landmarks, the famous Landmarks email, she has been on jury duty. So not everything gets,
Not Brenna.
but yeah, not everything doesn't get processed right away. So just to be aware that that, and the other thing is if you've been in contact, you have David's email
Yes,
is
I have
to
been- yeah.
double it with CC him with the,
Yes, I usually keep everyone that I've spoken to. I keep Brenna, Marjorie, David, everybody in the same email, so I know what's going on.
okay. All right. And thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you for having me because this is very informative for me.
Yeah. So, and you know where to find us the next time.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Next on the agenda is the Hampton Library, which is not something that we have to deal with. I don't know if you got the message at all, but that there's no review required by the Landmarks Board because, in fact, there's no impact on exterior features of the building.
I got the message, but the architect that found the permit said we did need something from you, and that's why you're on the agenda. I'm not sure what I do need. That's my for the permit to do the work. Do I need something?
Probably just need a response to the construction application that was submitted, a response to the building department.
Yeah, I was asked explicitly about it, but it may, Renee, there's no official response that was made, so a piece of paper can be filed on it, certainly, just to confirm it. And it may also have been a question of the jury duty issue that I just mentioned, of things getting communicated right away all the time. So
a piece of paper, who should I be getting this piece of paper from?
well, we've already decided that it didn't need a review. We'll just make an official memo with respect to that and send it to the building department to confirm it, and there should not be any problem with it then. Okay, sorry you had to make a trip
It's
for.
fine. And,
Yeah.
I'm thrilled that there's an historic district in Bridgehampton. It's great news for us, so thank you.
Yeah, Ed, that response should be with respect to the construction application, because it was
Construction, yeah.
Yeah.
As well as COA.
as a
yeah.
COA.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay. Now that those heavy lifting issues have been dealt with, we have, because we had no demolition permit applications this month, 26 Benita Road, East Quogue was reviewed by Stephanie and Bill with respect to the date of the building.
Correct, and it's not pre-1941. It's
therefore
afterwards. So the flag's been removed, and there was no need for us to review this. So, done.
23 Corwith Avenue, we've already dealt with. 10 Pearson Court Watermill. And Susan and myself reviewed it. And Susan, do you want to report on it?
Ed and I both agreed that it did not warrant a review, even though, I mean, the background, it was an accessory structure for the Suffolk dairy. It was the William Pearson dairy farm. And this apparently was the water tower in the back. If you go down Cobb Road, you can see the barns, which there is a conservation easement on that whole side. And the water tower sits behind it, so you really can't see it from Cobb Road. But if you turn down Pearson Court, and that's the picture you see, it's in AKRF, it's on Watermill 9, and it's listed as 4 Pearson Court. You can see the watermill on the left and the barn on the right, but that's because you're down the little subdivision street. And that's how I viewed the house, because it is right there. It sits in an open field, and they want to replace the deck and enlarge it, do a minor expansion of it. It's going to be timber tech. They're going to replace the windscreen. The railing's now going to be stainless steel cable with timber tech. Even though it's more contemporary materials, it's pretty much irrelevant because it sits back and they have a deck and they look at barns and fields back there. So anyways, it's actually just replacing something that's already there. Yeah, there we go.
That's the house of, which was a former water tower. And the decks, as you can see, the deck is there on the building right there. These are the old dairy barns from 19...
I had 1900, I think, on that.
Yeah. So, and as I said, there's a conservation easement. The Pearson used to live on the opposite side, along with his partners from Brooklyn in the dairy. So I think I circulated the report, so don't have to spend any time on it. But an interesting little structure in and of itself.
I think across the street, the one that you're looking on the left, that was Elihu, his dad, I think lived there, and it burnt down. And I think William's house is still standing. It's right directly across the street. Where you see that circle, to your, right up there. I think if you go up to, put your little marker right up there on the right of, okay, go to your the other direction, down, closer to Cobb Road, the one right on Cobb Road. Okay, go down a little bit, down. Okay, right there. That is the William Pearson house, and Ellie's burnt down. But anyways, we agreed that it's a replacement and slight enlargement, and it didn't warrant review. So Ed took care of the response. Thank you.
Okay, so back to the agenda. 2405, 10 Squires Terrace, Hampton Bays. This is a house in Hampton Bays in about 1937. And it's for an addition to the house. As you can see, the house is relatively modest in its characteristic. The addition is to go on this side here, kind of probably a 50% increase in base side there. There's nothing that indicates anything of, to me, historic character for the house. it looks like it had been altered previously and at various times, so just to locate it on a map. As you can see, this is up in near Squiretown, in Hampton Bays, close to Peconic. There's no historic neighborhood context for it, all small properties. And I don't think there's anything to object to in terms of the addition that they intend to add to it. Is any comments about it? Okay, if none, there'll be no objection, and I'll file the report on that. So, okay. We can go back to the agenda here, which 2405 we've done, 2426, the changing color of and stucco of Montauk Highway, the Bridgehampton Library we've done. Referrals, 26 Mill Road, Remsenburg. Stephanie did send a memo to the planning board staff member prior to the planning board hearing.
Yes.
And raising, you can explain the issue you raised, maybe?
Yeah, the proposed subdivision is a two-lot subdivision. There is a dwelling on one of the proposed lots. It looks to me like it would be in a conforming location, so it doesn't necessarily require demolition. But the property is being actively marketed right now, and the real estate listing indicates that the property is being marketed as vacant land. So it appears that the intent is to demolish the dwelling. The dwelling is recognized as a historic resource in the town survey. It appears to have been associated with one of the two early duck farms in the area that were on the west side of the Spionk River. Probably the Kuzma family, which I'm not sure that's pronounced correctly, but Mr. Kuzma emigrated from Ukraine. He married a woman who I'm guessing may be also Ukrainian, and they had two children who grew up on the farm. And the farm was operated from, at some point prior to 1930, up until it appears sometime in the 1960s, when the duck farming was discontinued. So this is another dwelling. It appears, at least from the exterior, to be in good condition. It does not appear to be lived in at present, but I believed it was lived in sometime in the past few years. And as you know, we recently landmarked another historic duck farming related house down on Dock Road, also craftsman style, similar to this. So it would be a shame to lose this building. So we've communicated that to the planning board, and it sounds like from the response I got that they were sympathetic to the situation, but they may not be able in their processes to, potentially prevent demolition. Although I'm hopeful that they can express the historic value of this dwelling. And in any case, if a demolition is contemplated here, we must, have the opportunity to review the demolition application. So, anyhow. So
substantial sized house.
It is. It's 1.5 stories, and there's an attic up there, and the windows look to be pretty much all original. There's a few replacements. There's that little bay bump out on the side there that looks like it's a more recent affectation, and they got probably a wood stove or something in there, but you can see the windows, they're all divided light. They've got beautiful wavy glass in them. It looked like they may have had a deck at one time on that flat roofed addition. There's a door that's been installed there where there was likely originally a window. It's got this very nice half-round windows up at the attic level. So I did not get in the structure, I didn't go in, but I saw it from the three sides that are visible from the street. This is directly across the street from our elementary school, so it's a very familiar house in our community. There's some trees out front, but nothing that really obstructs the view on either the street-facing side or the two sides of the building. So it's a very nice structure. The roof looks to be in good condition, and I really didn't see any signs of a need for demolition here.
Was that, on this, on the left side, first level, with those sets of three windows wrapped around the corner too? It's got
Microphone.
three windows on either side of the door. Was that a porch?
It's possible that it was originally a porch that was later enclosed, but if it was done fairly seamlessly with the rest of the house. So again, I didn't go examine the foundation and certainly haven't been inside. So, but that's a possibility.
Didn't have a chimney.
I did not see a chimney, but then again, it may be coming out of the back roof. Other than the,
See if we,
yeah, it is. It's a very nice house. It's got the brackets under the roof. It's got the rafter tails sticking out. But I think the windows on that front there, whether they're porch or not, they're all wavy glass. So if it was enclosed, it was done at an early date.
can't see a chimney from the old photographs, no.
They weren't originally purchased.
Yeah.
Could have been used window.
Well, it's not an application yet for demolition, but it's
No.
certainly seems to be at risk.
Yeah, it would seem to be at risk.
Subdivision, no.
Yep.
What is that, a stair window that's, on the second level in the middle, it's dropped down, that one?
That could be, yeah.
The door on the first floor is also dropped, so like halfway between
Microphone.
the first floor and then
Mm-hmm.
That
continue
upper
up.
gable window's kind of sweet. Looks like
Yes.
brackets coming right down in the top of the window.
Yep.
Right here, and that matches the other side too.
Yep.
All these brackets. You asked whether or not that was originally a porch. It would seem to me to be kind of difficult, given the ends of the rafters out there and the fact that the brackets kind of match.
Yep.
Right down to the edge. Yeah.
It's not atypical of that era to have
Yeah.
a sun enclosed porch like that be from the start.
No.
Big, is it just because of the massing? It's just like,
It is a big house. Yeah, for that era, it's a big house.
and then the rafter tips are those, the ends, are they, decorative at all? Or just-
No, they look just to be straight and sewn on.
What size do you think the window lights are, like 7x9? It wouldn't be smaller than that.
I don't think so. Yeah, 7x9 might be reasonable. They look to be rectangular rather than square. It's a very nice house, and it was a large house for the era. My guess is with that side door that they may have had farm workers living there as well, because it was a 4-person family.
Yeah.
So they may have had an entrance for workers.
It was a good report,
Yeah.
and well done.
Thank you. Well, hopefully it gets some sympathy somewhere.
97 Fanning Avenue, I sent a response back to the planning board in order to make the public hearing that was scheduled there. That was a subdivision in Hampton Bays, attempting to make a flag lot out of this property here, kind of awkwardly configured a little bit because there's an existing garage that's set back away from the house in front. But this neighborhood also is made up of small properties. This happens to be a little bit larger property than the surrounding properties there, and it's being utilized, obviously, for sale for a second residence. But the neighborhood does not have any historic resources nearby and did not show any kind of historic character that would be part of a district of any kind. So I express the opinion that we would have no objection to it. So we face this time problem with the twice-a-month meetings of the planning board and the ZBA and our once-a-month schedule. So those windows make for once in a while some complications trying to address them. 248 New Light Lane. This is a referral from the state, from SHPO, for a state and national register listing for the Corwith Jones farmhouse, which we landmarked in 2022. Let me just see whether or not. Yes, it was landmark designated 2022 by the town board, January. I think our work was in December or November of 2021, dealing with it just to familiarize ironically, our new members might not be familiar with this. Samantha might not be familiar with it, but Larry would be familiar with it. This is a farmhouse that basically has two components. One, a very old original house that was later added to with a larger volume in the Greek Revival style, this portion. And this gives a better picture of it. This would have been the original house, maybe early 18th or late 17th century. And then this built in 1840s or thereabouts. So we landmarked this, we recommended it on a couple bases from our own criteria. And just some pictures of the interior. Has some period features to it that still remain. Fireplaces of ancient origins, as well as plank floors of olden times. So it has a good deal of integrity. This is a garage with an apartment that is part of the property, but not part of the historic character of the place. So it was referred to us because we are a certified local government, and the certified local government responsible agency, which is us, is to comment on state and national register candidacies. This candidacy arises from a nomination made by the owner, and it was documented very well by Zach Studenroth, who worked on behalf of the Flack family to advance this proposal. And the question for us is whether or not that we have a problem, because we already found that. But the question that SHPO asked us is, can we confirm that it embodies a distinguished characteristic of an architectural type and contains, a design appropriate to that. And of course, we've already done that in our landmarking statement. So I presume there's no objection to saying that the Landmarks Board confirms that. Okay, from that consensus, then this paperwork has to go to the town supervisor to endorse before it goes to the nomination for the National Register. The hearing is in early September, so that's one of the reasons why we like to get this done tonight, so that it can get to the supervisor, be put in the mail in order to get to the proper parties. So with that, we'll consider that then, that agenda item closed. And 10 pending landmark, no longer pending, is 1040 Flanders Road. Methodist Point was designated a couple weeks ago. So that can be lifted off the agenda. 439 Hayground Road was delayed. The referral to the planning board, they had it before them and they decided not to act on it because they had not seen the report. The report was not distributed to them. But they...
Was that last week?
That was last week, yeah. But they said they would be able to have another planning board meeting before the public hearing of the town board, which is September 20-something. So they're aware of the time sequence involved, but they wanted to see the report that was prepared for the landmark nomination.
And who communicated that to you?
I watched the planning board meeting where they were.
All the planners had to do was come across the hall and get the report and distribute it.
Yeah. Anyway, it won't change. It appears it's not going to change the town board's deadline for the agenda that is to occur. 292 Majors Path is on pause at the owner's request. 65 Old River Road is still a task I have to complete. Stony Brook Southampton Windmill is on pause with respect to other activities that may be taking place. 11 Walnut Avenue, East Quogue, is an easement offer has been accepted.
Yes, it sounds like for both 11 Walnut and 149 South Country easement. For both 11 Walnut and 149 South Country easements offers apparently have been made. And it sounds like we, as a board, need to reaffirm our recommendation for landmarking of these two structures. I haven't laid eyes on 11 Walnut in a while, so it would be probably a good idea for Bill or I to take a quick look and make sure that there's nothing that would change our prior recommendation. I see 149 South Country Road all the time, and from what I see, there's nothing there that would change our recommendation. What's the mechanism for reaffirming our recommendation to the town board, David?
Yeah. This is the awkward, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? And whether or not the easement agreement is signed or whether the landmark designation is signed maybe they could be put in the same
I'm
resolution.
glad you brought it up, because I had the same question today, and I was gonna send an email, and I didn't, but, yeah, the cart's before the horse here.
Yeah,
It should be, the landmarking should be done first. Ideally, if not done first, then do simultaneously.
right,
But to do the hearing on the landmark easement before it's even been landmarked,
yeah.
makes no sense.
There was one of the public hearings on I forget which one it was. I think maybe it might have been 11 Walnut, but was on the town board's agenda. The past meeting or the meeting before for a amendment to the CPF plan to, do historic purchase, preservation, amendment to the preservation plan. And it was withdrawn, the resolution was withdrawn because it was not properly noticed. So it was dropped from the meeting agenda when they did that, but that's my recollection of one of these. I think it was 11 Walnut, but
To address your question, Stephanie, I think we just send another memo to the town board
Okay.
saying that the landmarks board recommends landmarking.
Okay.
and referring to the original document. The problem with these is the length of time that some of these things are going, because some of the town board members are so new that they do not know about the sequence of events that taking place. And we, having had this business that somebody circulated a 2021 memo on 149 South Country Road that, referred to the prior owner of the property versus the current owners. And so the town board members are really not in a clear understanding of, some of the elements that go into this and the time that some of these decisions were made.
Well, I think actually for 149 South Country, our recommendation was made when the current owner owned it.
2023.
Yes,
Yes.
that's,
I sent that.
No, it was 2021 that the recommendation went.
well, that's
No,
that's the original one.
Correct.
And then we re-looked at it after the house was renovated and under the current owner, when the current owner owned it. And so we do have another report, an updated report.
Which hasn't gone yet.
Yes, it went.
It did.
It went to Schneiderman and that board. I sent a copy to you this afternoon after this issue came up, about 5 o'clock or so, 5:30. So that,
Yeah, we should have the prior report, the one that was most recently sent. We had a recommendation that was sent, I believe, at that time.
The
Yeah.
2023 recommendation was in draft form only, it was never sent.
Oh, okay.
In 2021, January 2021, recommendation was sent, which was the application of the original owner,
Okay.
the prior owner.
Right, and that's all moot. Well, the house has been renovated, so it's.
Yeah.
It's got,
It definitely needs a new referral based on the application from the current owner.
this is February 27, 2023, to Schneiderman Town Board from the landmarks, and does the description. And
No, that's that PDF right there.
yes,
Scroll up to the top.
February 27, 2023.
Oh, you just sent this before the meeting. Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't
but-
seen that yet.
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So,
All right, I don't know where you found that, because I couldn't find it. All right, so it's been done.
yeah. And so
That's fine.
I think we just need to send an email again with the report, the prior recommendation, and another short thing saying we continue to recommend.
Yeah, I think you need to give a little bit of a timeline associated with the events associated with this, so that, further confusion about who is being talked about for landmarking
Okay.
is, you don't get more complicated with that.
Okay.
No.
How about I run the letter by you?
Okay.
Make sure
all
it's clear. So we should probably do that for 11 Walnut and for 149 South Country.
right. And actually, at the same time, if they're all done with CPF, having the agreements on the easements, if those things are in place.
Yeah. And I think the only thing left to do is just do a quick drive-by on 11 Walnut, make sure that nothing's changed there.
Okay, so
All right.
we'll wait for that too.
All right, so I'll try to get those done next few days.
Okay. They've been on the agenda so long, I'll miss them.
I
Hmm.
can bump the font back up in size.
And 29 Dock Road, of course, is associated with the extension given for the 2023 Landmark Maintenance Award, which we'll have to wait for them to, I think, initiate any.
Yeah,
kind of
and
activity.
I've reminded the property owner that, the work needs to get done so we can close this matter out. So I don't know if it will get done this year.
Right. And I will say that I sent an email to the North Sea Community Association for the Schoolhouse Landmarks Maintenance. I did not get a response. I was asking for just some invoices that, would confirm the payment involved so that it can be sent to the sent for a resolution authorizing the payment. So that's out there yet too. The other matters are basically certified local government activity. Tomorrow is the famous summer session for the National Association Preservation Commissions, which can be viewed at the time if you signed up for them, or later afterwards. So I'm sure you'll be getting, as I have been getting, multiple links associated with it.
What time does that start? 10:30?
11:30, I think.
Yeah.
11:30 tomorrow, but it's earlier Thursday?
One day it's a half an hour earlier.
Yeah.
I forget which day.
No.
But you don't have to, as long as you've paid and registered for it, you'll be able to view it, I think maybe for 90 days or something.
Yeah, I did that once before on one of those.
David, so if we have our paid receipt, we wait for the confirmation and then send them to you?
I don't know
Or,
how they're gonna do a confirmation, because what if you don't actually attend the live session and you watch it in the future?
Well, you still get a confirmation.
Yeah, I got a confirmation that way. I don't remember how I did it, but I sent some note to the woman, told her I just watched it, and it was a week or so afterwards, and they sent me a
yeah, they
confirmation.
send a confirm.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I guess wait for the confirmation to submit that for reimbursement.
But you want to send it to you, or do we
You can
send?
send it to me and I'll forward it on to
Okay.
Jim in the admin office. She'll get the controller to write a check.
So Samantha, do you have anything for us to consider?
Nothing for me.
Okay. Well, we hope you get over your cold soon.
Thank you.
No. Do we have anything else we should consider? Hearing not, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye, Samantha.
I don't know if I ever handed this out. Did I hand this out once before? Maybe I emailed it.